kind of make sure that everything's up and running and trying to sort of fight the elements. But I'm here, I'm Patrick Matsinko with Justin Carlucci. But this is fun. We're out of the boardroom, we're out of the conference room, we're out on the football field, and you know, here get another chance to be outside one more time this year.
Yeah, it's I'll take this weather, man, as long as it doesn't get any worse. It's weird. This must be the first day that there's nobody on this beautiful Lehighton football field behind us. We have a lot of stuff we could talk about. Our fall season's finally over, and it's windy. It's all done, and it's windy out, so got to excuse us on Facebook and Twitter if you hear some muffling sounds. So, you know, hope everybody enjoys our holiday coming up. Our schedule's a little wacky this week, so that's why we're kind of doing what we can, and we decided, hey, let's go check out Lehighton football field, and maybe Kyle Spots won't lock us in here today so we don't have to climb over the fence.
But we always appreciate Kyle's help. I talked to Kyle this morning. You know, the Lehighton football season is over. You know, it's over for all of our area teams, but this will be a place where you can catch some action this weekend with Newman Goretti and Southern Columbia playing Friday night. Lehighton hosted Williams Valley Old Fours last week, so we have a story coming up about a couple of you know, Northern Lehigh as well hosting some state playoff games. So so that's certainly something to look forward to for area football fans that want to still catch some action. But last week, Saturday night, you got to see Lehighton and Palisades.
I did.
Great game. I mean, great game. You know, Lehighton came up short, but you know, certainly something to be, a lot to be proud of this year.
Yeah, heck of a season for the Lehighton football team. Great staff, you know, head coach Tom McCarroll and everybody they have from top to bottom. And, you know, both of us being Lehighton alumni, we know everybody on that staff pretty well. So, you know, tip your cap to them. They ran the table in the regular season. And, you know, that team was highly motivated all year, was the Lehighton football team. The media and the coaches kind of penciled them towards the bottom of Division I, and they kind of used that as a chip on their shoulder. You know, and as soon as you think Lehighton might sputter a little bit, they prove you're wrong. They prove you're wrong. You know, they come up with a big defensive stop against Tamaqua in that game. They put up a 50-burger against Pottsville. You know, they beat Schuylkill Haven earlier in the year. Things like that. And, you know, towards the end,
Jim Thorpe twice.
They get Jim Thorpe twice in 2 weeks, and you kind of pull away from them in both those games. So, and I tell you what, I bet you a lot of people from down in the Allentown area thought, man, this Palisades football team's going to roll. Well, Lehighton, you know, Coach McCarroll gave me a great quote and said, we pretty much responded to almost every punch they threw. And 48-42, I mean, they were down by 20 in the second quarter. They could have rolled over and died, and they came right back. So what an awesome game that was. Of course, you know, they want a little bit different of an outcome, but there's nothing to hang your head on if you're the Lehighton football team.
No, and you know, like you said, it's been such a great season. You know, where you look at maybe, you know how a lot of people predicted they would do in Division I in you know, the Schuylkill League, and you know, just in terms of media, coaches, and I think they proved everybody wrong this year. I know a district championship was, you know, certainly something that they were gunning for, but you know, it was a phenomenal season. You know, they made plays week after week after week, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know why anybody would have really doubted them in that Palisades game after, you know, they just kind of constantly kept proving that they can do it. You know, they did it every single week, and they did it again against Palisades. I mean, you know, to be down, you know, the way that they were, and then to come back, you know, before the end of the first half, and then just to keep going, like you said, blow for blow, you know, to be able to more than hold their own with a Palisades team that everybody, I think, kind of thought was going to roll to a win there was super impressive. Yeah,
we got some more football to talk about. We'll also touch on some of our other sports that we had. Some of our other local teams had really impressive runs that just kind of wrapped up their seasons. But another team we didn't get a chance to talk about that played really late in the year for our coverage area is the Pomeranian Blue Bombers. On probably the coldest night of the year, they played a really tough Schuylkill Haven team, and you know, the Bombers had a great year, but behind, you know, head coach Chris Walkowiak and Jacoa Gaitis, and, you know, they lose Pershing and Stasko and a whole bunch of kids, and you're like, where are you going to get this year out of the Bombers? Well, I mean, they had some really great quality wins and a lot of excitement around that program. It just ran into a little bit of trouble against Schuylkill Haven. They turned the ball over kind of right away in that game, and, you know, Haven kind of ran with it.
Yeah, and I think it, though, is such an accomplishment for that program to be back in a district championship game 2 straight years against Schuylkill Haven both times, like you said. But it was really, I mean, Toccoa Gators, had a remarkable season, and they had, several playmakers. Aaron Stasco, Sabo, Luke Yandel came in, Mike Eckhart, Cody Waterhouse, and they did it, those guys did it on both sides of the ball too. So, I think it's a lot for that program to build on, and I think we talked about this before, is maybe that kind of budding rivalry that they've had now with Schuylkill Haven these last couple of years, meeting in the district championship game. And, I don't see the Bombers going away anytime soon. So I think this is a program that's still on the rise and has a lot to look forward to in the years to come. Yeah, very young team, and they're going to return, a bunch of underclassmen. Obviously, they'll have to figure out, who the quarterback's going to be, but you're going to return a bunch of those guys you just named from Palmerton. So they're staying in Class 2A. And coincidentally, the classifications are, some teams are moving, and Lehighton has the opportunity to move up to 4A, as we understand, next year for football. Which is big. You know how that always goes, just in terms of, moving up, moving down. We'll see. Lehighton played a lot of tough competition throughout the season, with different teams and, the Pottsvilles and things like that, the Blue Mountains, those types of bigger schools, and also schools from, out of District 11 as well. So, I think Lehighton's definitely shown that it can hang with some of the bigger schools, and it'll be a change, but it's not like 3A is a weak division. I think 3A is one of the deepest divisions. Definitely. When you look top to bottom, when you have the Palisades, Notre Dame Green Pond, you have Jim Thorpe, you have Lehighton, you have Tamaqua, you have Salisbury, which isn't a bad team. I mean, you have Wilson, which is also, I think, making a move. So, there are a lot of schools that are in the mix there. These coal region programs, 9 times out of 10, I'll take a Tamaqua, I'll take a Jim Thorpe over any of those teams you named in 4A. And this year was the same deal. So, just something unique that Lehighton has a chance to move up and play 4A. I think Bethlehem Catholic's moving too. I'm not sure. I have to look at that again. Yeah, I think we'll have to, make sure that we, see exactly where Becca ends up as, as an EPC team. Right. Maybe they're, not exactly in a position to move down. Playing with a lot of other EPC schools that are already 5 and 6A. Becca's. I don't know if Becca's in a spot where they're able as an EPC team to drop in classification. So we'll have to kind of take a look at that. I know you'll have a story later this week on the reclassification for how it affects area teams, and we'll kind of get maybe a clearer picture of where everybody stands then. So yep, we had a bunch of other local teams make some serious runs into state playoff competition. So where do you want to start, man? Well, we could start in Johnstown, which is where I've been. You were with me twice, but ended up there again this weekend for the third time in 4 years to cover Marian volleyball. Marian played a very, very tough District 10 champion Maplewood team. The Phillies came up short, but still a remarkable season. They were undefeated, Schuylkill League District 11 champions. I mean, those seniors have been to Johnstown, have been in a state championship 3 out of the 4 years that they've been at Marian. That's incredible. I don't think that's anything for them to hang their heads about. They've had such a remarkable career. Jasmine Mooney, kind of smashed through so many records while she was there. Gianna Augusti, the captains there, and they've just played. Tony Galasso, they've played such huge roles. Elena Beckett, I'm not going to get all of them, but they've been huge for that team, for that program. Head coach Dr. John Fallible. It's just it's been a staple. They've been a staple District 11 powerhouse for as long as I can remember. I think 6 straight District 11 titles overall. Ran into a really tough Maplewood team on Saturday, but certainly a remarkable season for that group. And every time they've been to Johnstown, they've ran into some elite teams. From Western PA, this one near Erie. 2014 and 2016, they ran into Greensburg Central Catholic, and there's the pair of sisters that were really good. Were in the way of that gold medal, but another fine season for Marian, and they had a really exciting season, beating Panther Valley, their backyard rivals, in a big Schuylkill League game,
being down 0-2 to Blue Mountain and coming back and winning that game. So they definitely have some highlights to look back on in their careers, these seniors, and they're going to be like, man, that was awesome, and they were fun to watch.
To beat Nativity in 5, again, I think that's a team that throughout the year they showed that ability to respond to adversity, and no matter if it was being down, 2 sets to Blue Mountain in a Schuylkill League, championship match, or being down and having to fight back and beat Nativity in 5 sets for a district title just to make it to states, into the playoffs. It's just it's been such a remarkable run, remarkable careers for all of them, and we'll see sort of where the road takes them next year.
So we're doing our TN Sports Chat on a different day. The holiday week, things are wacky. There's some guy here running around the track, so hopefully they won't lock us in because at least someone else is here inside of Lehighton football field. They had a great season, and the football team was really fun to watch. Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Patrick?
Yep.
Hey, we're live. You want to come on the show?
We're live.
Can't tell who you guys are with your hat on.
That's okay.
Come on
We're
the
live.
show.
You're what?
We're live on the air. You want to come on Facebook and Twitter? Got the Turkey Trot Show on. What's up? How are you?
Nice to see you, Justin.
Yeah.
How are you?
Patrick? Doing all right.
Hey,
to see you.
Hello, everybody.
how's your run going?
It's going all right. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So what are you guys talking about?
Sports.
Yeah.
Sports. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that you get when you're live and you're on location and you're not in a boardroom.
Awesome.
So So
Beautiful day out here.
Yeah. That's why
Beautiful
we're trying to take advantage of
Yeah.
it. So you don't know how many more you're going to get with
How about it?
December,
Late November.
December right around the corner.
We've had snowstorms by this time of the year.
Yeah, don't remind me. I don't need a reminder. I'm thankful for this weather. So
Well, thank you for your coverage during the game. I don't have cable.
Oh yeah.
DirecTV, so I was relying on you for the Saturday night updates.
Yeah,
I don't know if you were.
I've had a couple of games recently.
Come on in here so we can make sure we can
Okay.
get you on the. Maybe
All
we can do a quick plug here. What's the Turkey Trot's coming up this week?
It
right?
is. It's always for the BOTAC Foundation on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving Day, and it's a wonderful event, of course, for the community, and what a great way, another sport. Sport plug there for you, is it?
Which we've got a chance to cover just a little bit of everything lately, but this is having that sort of community involvement is kind of what drives what we do.
Two of my former students, everyone.
Yes.
Yep. Teacher at the high school.
We both ended up doing English stuff. How'd that work?
How about that?
I don't know.
How about that?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't have planned it
where
that
it's
way,
at.
I guess. But
Science
hey,
and English. That's
I'm
where it's
happy.
at.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, certainly for, like you said, a great cause. It's something that the more that
Great runner in the past.
the more that we can get out for other people to be involved, that would be phenomenal. So
Of course, it's for a great cause, and if it takes the mention of food, they have some great food for, of course, after the race. They always have the best turkey chili, I believe. I hope they have it this year again. But it's a wonderful event.
Cool.
Running down Lafayette Street, and then we come up Columbia, up that little hill, to challenge you and just coast on in for the finish. It's a nice race.
It is, and hopefully, time, weather, schedule permitting, be able to maybe make it out this year. Would be certainly nice to be a part of it. So,
Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
No
All
problem.
right.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Thanks
It's
for
awesome.
coming on.
It's awesome. All
Thank
right,
you
guys.
very much.
Take care.
Very
Enjoy
much.
your
Take
day.
it easy.
Yeah, so you never know. We're on live footage right now.
This is, you can't hit pause. You can't stop it.
You can't. So hey, anybody that wants to come on, set something up, athletes, coaches, anybody involved with athletics, or education in the area, even if you're just a fan, give us a buzz, and we're just science teacher right there.
Yeah.
Mr.
Potts.
Potts.
Yeah.
And everybody here is just a big family, and we appreciate them letting us use the stadium for sure too, because everybody's doing their thing around us here. But we were talking about Marian's season. I'm gonna go check Twitter and make sure that tripod didn't fall over. But we had two other soccer teams make a run.
We had the Northwestern girls make it into the state playoffs. We had the Northwestern boys play for a state championship, which was, again, another team that was undefeated, a remarkable remarkable season. Just came up short against a very tough Lower Dauphin team. So, didn't really get a chance too much this year, I guess, to cover a lot of soccer. We're just sort of doing our thing. But, they had a great season. So, and those Northwestern programs are always kind of tough, boys or girls. So, obviously it's great for the program, for the community to kind of see that and to kind of see them go on that run together, and the girls made it to the semifinals, the boys obviously played for a title. So, it's great to see them kind of experience that, I guess, together.
I covered a lot of our weekly guys cover a lot of Northwestern soccer. Shout out to Chuck Hickson, Mike Haynes, and Todd Kress, and CJ Hemmerly, and Katie McDonald, and everybody out there. So
Scott Pagel. Sorry if I'm not dropping everybody's name.
But I saw Northwestern boys play, at one of their state games, and just their ability to adapt was really nice. One of their defenders got hurt, and Kenny Gawalka was one of their scorers. He went back and played defense that whole game. They still found a way to win, and their goal differential was sick this year. It was like 90-something to 5.
I think heading into the title game, it might have been 97-4 or 97-5. It's such a remarkable stat, and then to be able to maintain that through 20-plus games of a season against really good competition, kind of speaks volumes to just how sound that team was this year. They did it on offense and defense, and Coach Hunsaker is going to have those kids ready next year to hopefully try to make another run at it, no matter, how many losses that they have. So
shout out to Northwestern, great seasons. Marian volleyball, great season. And just the football season was wild, and that you couldn't ask for better football from a journalist standpoint and just from a fan.
Every week, we had something different every week. We had record-breaking performances. The 1 week Jim Thorpe's Justin St. Hill went off, and the next week Lehighton's Taquan Bradley Chambers went off, and it just kind of seemed like each week we had a different sort of storyline to follow. We had plenty of big games in the second half of the season in this Division I of the Schuylkill Football League, Schuylkill League football. And each week I really think they delivered. You look back at the Tamaqua Thorpe game where it was kind of won on a Hail Mary. And each week there was just something different to follow and kind of a different storyline to pick up, I guess.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we got to thank all the coaches and players that let us come bother you every week. Do our Player of the Week stories, Game of the Week stories, phone calls, getting quotes, things like that.
Doing these videos too.
Scott
Price, Pat Morgans, Tom McCarroll, Sam Bonner. Those guys gave us some of their time to come on, whether it was in the office or out kind of at a bar. They decided to give us some of their time, and we definitely appreciate that. They have a lot of other stuff going on, and they didn't have to drop everything to give us a couple hours.
Yeah, but hey, open invite, like we said. Wrestling and basketball seasons are coming up, and then we got spring sports too. So if anybody ever wants to come talk some sports and kind of get your 30 minutes to local fame, we could use some personality on this show because sometimes we don't cut it, man.
Yeah, no, I would rather not talk for 30.
I'm just kidding.
30 minutes, but
you need to boost that confidence up, man.
Yeah, it's all right. So what else do we have?
Yeah, winter sports are right around the corner, and practice it's kicking off. And I had who did I have on my show? I had Marian basketball coach John Patton on my radio show last week, and he has some big shoes to fill, and Brandon Muhammad there and things like that. But all these winter sports are kicking off. Basketball season is going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of new faces on the boys and girls side, player-wise this season. But a lot of returning coaches and a couple new ones. So it should be fun. Basketball and wrestling. It still feels like spring though out here.
That's why we're here. That's why we're doing it. And hopefully we can do a little more this winter where we're out, kind of getting other people involved, and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, and we'll run our basketball pages and our wrestling columns written by Pat normally once the season start up. So, until then, we'll keep you posted with some videos and stuff with what we're doing, and feel free to reach out to us, on Twitter and whatever, on Facebook. If you have any suggestions, send us an email. If you have any comments, questions, want to come on, and we'll get you on the show. And Thanksgiving's coming up, and it's Thursday already.
Yeah. I wasn't aware that it was Thanksgiving. That this week was Thanksgiving until last week.
What a real terrible slate of NFL games on tap Thursday. I'm not even turning the TV on, I don't think. Ugh.
You will.
I won't.
Yeah, you will.
I gotta work 7 o'clock Friday morning for the Times News. I gotta go to bed, man.
That's right.
Gotta get that sleep in.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the Botac Foundation Turkey Trot is coming up, like Mr. Pot said. Thanks to him and coming on. And definitely, check that out for a great cause.
That wasn't planned either.
It was not planned.
But,
things happen when you're live.
yeah,
Anything else before we get out of here and shut her down?
Nope, we're done.
All right.
Good.
Well, for Patrick Maxinko and everybody else at the Times News, I'm Justin Carlucci. Have a great holiday.